A few months ago, Mickey and I met to discuss how I assist the families and staff here at Free as to what I am as an organizer. A simple thought was to explain what I do and how it can help your daily life. I would like to start by telling you a little bit about my journey to becoming a professional organizer, and afterwards provide some tips that you can apply to your daily life, whether at home or work. It all began while searching for a bottle of lotion in a hallway closet of my friend's house. I was struggling to locate it. I would move one item and shift another, and then another. I thought to myself, there's got to be a better way. There was stuff everywhere. There were towels, Band-Aids, sprays, medicines, nail polishes, cleaning supplies, brooms, and an occasional toy would pop up. The very last item that I would find in the back corner of the closet would in fact be this bottle of lotion that my friend insisted was there. I turned to my friend with amazement and said, "I found it." I turned to my friend also and said, "What are we going to do about this space?" He said, "What would you think if I would reorganize it? Get in there." And she said, "You really want to? Go ahead." I decided to take each and every item out of the closet and I placed it in the kitchen, on the kitchen counter. I matched like items together, towels with towels, medicines with medicines, checking the dates as I was going. Some items were completely tossed out because they were old or dirty, like hand towels. Once the closet was completely empty, I assessed the space and then my items. Shoe boxes were all that we had on hand, so I used them to contain the items. All bath went together, medicines in another, and so on. The boxes became a functional system, a term I would later learn in organizing. The items were together, stable, and not falling over. I returned the items back to the closet, starting from the top and worked my way down. The top shelves housed the items that were used infrequently. The two medium shelves were utilized for the items most used and for easy accessibility. And the lower shelf was used for the heavier items. Believe it or not, I used the door itself. There were hooks already on it, on the inside of the door, so I utilized that to put up the broom and the mop. The end result was a closet that was neat, contained, and accessible. As the saying goes, there's a place for everything and everything in its place. It was wonderful. I loved it, and most of all, so did my friends. What I noticed immediately just from that one experience was I really enjoyed what I just did. I wasn't overwhelmed like my friend expressed to me that she was. I kept thinking through the process and worked towards a different outcome. It was great. I would go on to rearrange many of my own areas as well as my friends and families for about 2 years. There wasn't a safe drawer, closet, or room I didn't want to get my hands on. I remember thinking to myself, what if others could use this? And would they pay for such a thing? One morning, a coworker and I were speaking about our weekends and what we do. I was single at the time, and I mentioned that other than the usual hangout and visiting friends, I was helping them and my family members with their spaces. She said, "What does that mean?" So I explained. Long story short, she said she could use me in her bedroom without me even asking. She says, "And I will pay you." And from that moment, my first paying client was born. This was such exciting news, but what did I know about pricing a job? I didn't even know what you would call what I was innately doing for others for years. I recognized I had a desire, a talent even. I could see beyond the current state, and I had the end in mind almost immediately. I didn't get overwhelmed, but rather it excited me. I did some research, and I quickly found out that what I was doing was a real profession. Professional organizer, to be exact. So what is a professional organizer? A professional organizer often works side by side with their clients, their individuals, families, and or businesses to reduce clutter, to help them utilize their space more efficiently to gain more time and functionality. And there it was, in black and white. I hadn't tackled businesses at that point. This would come later, but changing their spaces they used, well, I was definitely doing that. Based on the details provided in my quick search, I came up with an hourly rate. I ran it by my coworker, and she accepted. We decided on a day, and the organizing began. She loved the results. She would go on to tell her friends and family, and the momentum more appointments on the weekends. I did mostly residential in the beginning: bedrooms, closets, playrooms, kitchens, bathrooms, home offices. I would go on to include corporate offices to the mix later on. I would assist individuals and/or full departments by demonstrating how to best utilize their space. We worked on planning and prioritizing, maintaining and time management, ensuring follow-ups. I would offer insight with a gentle approach. Through the years, I've come to understand a great deal about human conditioning and how organizing is often much more than your items. I didn't just touch their items, I had a unique opportunity to touch their lives directly. It's about a reset of patterns, behaviors, habits, and often the very pathology in which one comes from that makes up their current situations. Together we create new, sustainable, and workable environments that can last. I'm delighted in saying that I've been organizing for 14 years now, and I love every minute of it. So what does all this have to do with you, and how can it benefit you? Whether heading out to work or staying home, I believe our days begin the night before. Preparation is key to our success. I would like to offer some simple examples and some concepts that can assist you at home, and how organizational habits and behavioral shifts can carry over to bring value to your work environments as well. Taking daily actions help create both routines and healthy habits that set you up for life. So first I'm going to discuss some tips that you can do at home. Regarding the paper that comes in the house, review it daily. I know it can be hard, we all live busy lives, and we're often on the go, but paper clutter happens quickly. Disregard unwanted items immediately. Have a place for what remains. An example could be using a file pocket. This is a great storage unit. You can attach to the wall and use the vertical space that is often overlooked, and is great real estate for organizing. They contain the papers, and it also gets it off your counters. Have a household calendar. Use a paper one or create one on your dry erase board. Put all the events on it. Color code where possible. I tell my clients to use a different color pen to represent a different person or event. A current client of mine is a nurse with a varying schedule. She creates her monthly calendar to reflect the seasons. For example, it's October and Halloween. She likes that the color of the leaves change. She uses orange to identify the days and times in which she works. Her husband and her teenage daughter can now easily refer to the schedule at a glance on her calendar. Review this calendar daily. Things change often. Be aware of your upcoming appointments and events. For instance, Tuesday we have the dentist, Friday we have the dog appointment, Monday you're getting your nails done. Everyone sees it, it's all there at a glance. Nowadays our schedules are so full, we can miss an important appointment. Having it out in the open allows for reference and made aware for everyone. Our kitchens are the essential part of our mornings. There's where everyone ends up. Whether on the go or having breakfast at home, prep for breakfast. Possibly put your placemats, cups or bowls out the night before. Have your lunch on the go ready in the refrigerator, so only in the morning you just have to pick it up and go. Have your tea and coffee ready. Nowadays you just press a button or hit a timer. The idea for all these little things that I'm mentioning is to save time in the morning. Efficiency is very key. In the kitchen, currently I'm in a kitchen with a client now. I can recall the first moment when I came to assess for flow and functionality. Right away, what popped out to me was the fact that the cabinet near the coffee pot has the cooking spices, and the cabinet near the stove had the mugs. This isn't horrible in and of itself, and it can simply shift the items. But what stuck out to me was that the cabinets weren't next to each other. They were clearly across the kitchen. So, when she wanted to cook, she had to go across the kitchen to get her spices. And when she wanted to have her coffee, she had to go to the opposite side of the kitchen to get her mugs. Crossing the kitchen was wasting both time and energy. By switching the items to be next to the spaces in which they are used, it created a better flow and functionality. When it comes to family help when they can. Get the family involved, have teamwork, creates unity. Have your backpacks or work bags ready in the evening. The only thing you need to have in the morning is your breakfast or your lunches right away. Possibly think about doing dinner the night before. Nowadays, the weather is so cold. Think about using the crock pot. It's easy. Another simple thought. How about showering or bathing at night? This again saves time, not to mention is relaxing. It's one less thing to do in the morning. Take your clothes out if you can. Take them out for yourself and your family members where necessary. Hold them on the dresser or hang them up in your closet on a ballet rod. If you don't have such a thing, use a command hook and create a hanging item inside the door or the back side of the door, and now your clothes can be hung. Since having my daughter, my husband and I shower and we get our clothes out in the evening. We never knew what our nights were going to look like. So what we thought was to control our mornings. This habit is still with us today. Being prepared felt great. Establish a bedtime routine. Try and go to bed at the same time. Get some quality sleep. How about some me time? Do we ever take it? We all need it. Just a half hour. What about reading, meditating, going on to what our day was about? Simple exercises possibly. Just rejuvenate. Do one or do all of them. One thing I mentioned that can really derail your mornings is the snooze button. Try to get into the habit to rise and shine when the alarm gets off. You lose valuable time hitting the snooze button. A snooze button can be anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. My daughter who's 9 likes her snooze button. Like mommy, she likes her cozy bed. So she recently had stopped using her snooze button. What happened was she came to realize that she felt so rushed before going to school. My beloved daughter can move in reverse in the morning if you let her. One foot comes out, minutes later, we see the other foot trying to come out, and you know how the story goes. Combine that with lost minutes from the snooze, and the push is on. Those minutes add up. She just wanted downtime before school and after eating breakfast. She wanted to watch some TV, read, or do whatever else she wanted. Without the rush and the time wasted from the snooze button, there was available time again to her. And available time again, not to mention a mind that was at ease for a full day of school. The point here also is, go to bed relaxed. Let's wake up fresh, energized, and relaxed. Some tips for the workday. Much goes on in the workday. There are often many moving parts. Preparation is essential once again. Your day begins the night before. A few little steps before leaving work will set you up for success the following day. Start by looking through the emails one more time to see if there's something you need that needs your attention. Address it when necessary. Follow up on those calls. Did you tell Mary you were going to call her back and didn't? Review your calendar. What's on the agenda for tomorrow, even a few days out? Knowing your week is ideal, and have that paperwork for that meeting ready for yourself. Create and have a to-do list. It gives you the opportunity to mentally map out your day, your week even. It helps you set priorities and expectations. It can be written in a book, created on your computer or phone. Whichever works for you, please do it. Edit this list daily as things are completed and or added. Date and track all completed projects for a point of reference. Finish up your day with your desk. A clear desk is a productive desk. The more items you have, the more likely you will either be distracted by the clutter or you will get sidetracked by the task in hand. Have only the items that you need on your desk that you're working with. All other items should be in appropriate places. A few months back, I worked with two lovely ladies in their accounting office. Both clutter and time management were the concerns of their managers. They were often searching for their paperwork and often missed project deadlines. When it came for the initial consultation, what I observed was paper everywhere. On the desk, on the side chairs, papers even on the radiator. I asked them, how is it that this happened? I can understand why you might be missing some documents. What they said was, the response, I don't know what to do with everything that I have. There's daily work to be done, attend several meetings, having to file, setting priorities. To them, everything was important. Everything was a priority. Together we worked side by side to get through the paper, creating files where necessary. The next step was to assist them in setting up their days. When needed, let's get things done. Creating a to-do list, which they didn't have. Working through their days to set priorities. Tracking deadlines on calendars so they had a reference regularly. Finally, setting up a filing day to ensure files went somewhere. When documents were needed now, they knew where they were. In the end, there was order, functionality, and accountability. In conclusion, I hope that these simple and even very obvious organizing tips can provide you with assistance in gaining back the control that so many of us desire in our lives. You, the moment, and your day will be at ease, and you will be